Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 391 of your... Brilliant, let's try again. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 391 of 5 Star Potential, your weekly football manager podcast. I'm Doop, and today I am joined by Mr. Madd FM. Madd, how are you, sir?
I am good. We are definitely weekly again, Dupe, because 3 weeks in a row. We're back. We're officially back.
I mean,
aren't we?
We are late today because
We are late.
somebody decided they wanted to go out for dinner last night and celebrate a win against 14th place. But
I'm sorry, who are you talking about there? Oh, sorry. Yes, yeah. Newcastle, Man United. Oh, yeah. Are you okay? Just don't care anymore.
Mate. We beat you in your cup final. That's all that matters to me, mate.
But then it wasn't our cup final, it was yours.
You then went and won again this time. Anyway,
mate. I don't want to side note us too much here, but like realistically, Man United are desperate bad. If this was Football Manager, what would you be doing here? Because like they were absolutely shite in all aspects of playing football, running, everything.
A bit harsh. I'm gonna call a little bit harsh on that. I mean, they weren't good, but there was bits there that I will say that I was happy with from what I witnessed. There's bits there that I definitely was not happy with. But I think like in previous years, we've definitely seen them just give up, and I do find that they did try to start with anyway. I do think that we worked well as a team. Defensively terrible to concede the goal. The second goal, your first goal, moment of brilliance. Not going to lie to you. I think 99% of the teams that you play against this season, you would score the same goal. The other three, though, I don't think you score against anybody else because I don't think they are that bad. Our goalkeeper, he made a big decision to kind of drop the goalkeeper. He then put the goalkeeper in, and he made exactly the same mistakes as Onana makes, which is just phenomenal. But we come away with, I think there's obviously more questions to be asked than answers that we found. But this was not our game to win. This is your game to win. This is more important for you to win it. We need to go and win on Thursday night. And that's our main priority. And unfortunately, Xerxes has gone off injured, who, to be fair to him, has done very well recently. He's looking sharper and sharper as he goes along. But he's now injured. He looks like he's out. That goal would have been sick if they scored that, by the way. But yeah, we were just produced far too many errors, gave the ball away far too much in bad positions, and just didn't look good enough, in my opinion.
So
I do think there was parts where you can kind of go, we did all right in bits. I thought the goal was good.
Yeah,
the way we won the ball back and we countered.
There's so much more I think they could do that isn't just playing good football. And I think that comes down to just like defensive awareness, knowing where another guy is, eradicating silly mistakes. There's no cohesion. I get it, they changed a lot, but yeah, I just think you're asking for trouble the way they're approaching games, particularly the way they approach that game.
I think the problem you got is the three at the back. When it's gonna, if he can get it working, I think it'll work very well. If he can get the people in there that he wants in there, I think it'll work very well. The issue that he's got is he's got to get it working. He's got to get the people that he wants in there. Because my concern is when we don't have the system running the way that he wants it to run, we are losing out in that midfield. We've got two in the midfield. You've got three in the midfield. Simple as that. I never really understand the three at the back when all teams play now is just one striker. It's like you never come up against two strikers. I understand three at the back with two strikers. Get it. But three at the back, when you're defending one striker, it then just the wingers that are now inside forwards, as we all well know, crikey, voice crack. All they're going to do is cut in. They cut in, and that occupies the other defenders. And then you've got the wing backs overlapping and players just being pulled out. That first goal, Harry Amas, young lad, got no issue with him at all. But he was, he didn't come out and he didn't go out and try and meet the player because it wasn't his player, but it was his zone. And I think there's a lot to learn, a hell of a lot to learn. I think when Amarin first came in, I'm in, but I was away. I was on holiday, so I took a lot of content in when Amarin first took over. And I was reading a lot of his stuff and watching like video because I was literally just led on a sunbed. And I was just watching all of this stuff. And I was just thinking, this bloke's done it wrong straight away. Like he opened that he wanted to not take over until after the summer. He needed the summer, and I think we kind of realised this is going to happen. Our season is Thursday night. We have to win Thursday night. But for me, the one thing I will say, and this is my God's honest truth, as a man that watched Ten Hag drop his system or the way that he wanted to play 2 days in or 2 games into his kind of season when we lost against Brentford and Brighton. He just sacked it all in and he tried to play a completely different way. Cameron's not, which means it is going to be shit or bust. We're either going to do this or we're not going to do it. And I think personally he's kind of sat up and he said to the board, he has to have said to the board that I don't want to take over to the summer. If I take over now, don't judge me. Don't judge me this year. Anything can happen this year, which at the moment, anything could happen. We could go and win the Europa League, or we could get knocked out of that, be in nothing next year, which actually I think is a better idea. Like, as much as I want to be in Champions League next year, don't get me wrong. I think if we were in nothing next year, just had a season of we just concentrate on playing Saturday, that is it. We've got a weekend on the training ground each week. But I just feel that, like, he must have said something. He must have said, look, if I come and take over now, I'm going to play my system and it's going to be a shower of shit, literally. He's very honest. He's very open. I like the way that he handles the media compared to the other struggling team is Tottenham. And just lost his fucking head. I like the guy, and I think the guy, if the guy's given time and if the guy's given support and the club, and I'm not saying he needs lots and lots of money. I'm just saying he needs time to wean out those ones that are not going to play for assist. How many times have you like taken over a team at the start of an FM save and you've got an idea of which way you want to play, and then you go load that system in. And you go, right, we're going to play three at the back. We're going to play 2 attack midfielders that are going to drift out wide. You then load it into the game and you go, oh, I've not got any attack midfielders that's got any legs. I've got 2 wingers. The wingers can play in there. It is you've either got to decide, right, we got to push and work to the system that we want to play, or we make it work until the summer, until we can get some more players in. But what are we going to gain? We were never going to, like, when he took over, yeah, he's only won 6 games out of 20 or whatever, but even if I think I saw the maths, even if he won all the games that he'd lost, it still would be not in a Europa League spot. Like, it's crazy. It's nuts. But it is now going to be the lowest ever Premier League total for Manchester United ever. And it's been a fucking dreadful season. And potentially it could get better with a Europa League. But I think a Europa League literally just papers over the cracks, in my opinion.
Similar to how the FA Cup would have done it for Ten Hag, I think, because the FA Cup probably kept Ten Hag in a job for a little while by winning it.
Yeah, and I think that then hurt us long term, I think, right? I think if we would have potentially got rid of Ten Hag there and then, I think we could have been in a different bit. However, I'll tell you now, I wouldn't trade that FA Cup win last season for what's happened. Like, knowing... I wouldn't swap that. Say, if you said to me, right, you're going to finish 5th next season, have a good run in the FA Cup, have a good run in the Europa League, but win fuck all, I wouldn't have swapped it. Maybe if you said we're going to come 4th, 3rd, 2nd, I might have swapped it. But I don't think it would have been hard to push me away from kind of. I mean, it's selfishly, I was there, I was present, right? So for me, it was a wonderful day. So it would be very difficult for me to turn around and say, yeah, I didn't want us to win the Europa League, FA Cup, because I wanted us to get beat, let City win it, let them be closer to yet another, double or even a treble, Well, actually, no, it wouldn't have been a treble. They were out of the Champions League, weren't they? But, I think we needed to win it, Matt. I'll be honest with you. I think, like, if I turn around to you and said now, Newcastle don't make that, Newcastle go on a stinker now. How many games you got left? Fucking 6, 7, 8 games. I can't remember how many there is now.
7, yeah.
7 games left. Yeah, you got 7 games left. You're currently sat for 56 points. In theory, you could now still finish 7th, right? You're going to be in the Europa. What are you in? Because you've won the thing.
We've guaranteed the Conference League.
Conference. Okay, so let's say you finish in the conference in 7th, which will give you the Conference League. It probably wouldn't. It give you the Europa League anyway, right? So let's say you got Europa League, but you won the League Cup. You're going to take that. Surely you're going to take that.
I think we would have taken that at the start of the season without doubt. Yeah, we definitely would have taken the beginning of the season. But we're playing Palace now midweek on Wednesday, game in hand. If we win that, we go 3rd. So it's hard to say take
Yeah.
that now,
Yeah, but I'm just
given
saying,
the
like, if you've now gone
circumstances.
and
I think.
lost every single game, you can't. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I
I
think
mean
you'd find it
it's
hard
still
to
not
swap it
terrible.
over because it's not been a terrible season. Anyway, should we just talk about Football Manager instead of fucking real football? Because I tell you what, I
Yeah.
will talk about. With this may kind of resonate with a few of our listeners. Congratulations to Rory McIlroy.
Mm.
I am not a big golf fan. I genuinely started watching golf about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Watching it on TV, got into one of the tournaments that he played. He won in a playoff. That was a playoff as well. Spoilers if you haven't listened to it. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen the result. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to watch the Masters, and I watched every single hour of that content. It was absolutely insane. For somebody at that
Yeah.
moment isn't fully in love with football, with everything that's going on, VAR and everything else, proper loving the golf. So yeah, great work there.
We can enjoy the media calling him English for a while, just because he's won
Uh,
the Masters.
Yeah, or I mean, you must probably get the Irish bit as well, right? You get the Irish bit? Do they all say, "Oh, he's Irish"? When
Well, he's not. He's Northern
it's a
Irish,
bit,
but they'll
yeah,
be
that's what
throwing
I
around
mean.
his
But he's
English and
not.
British.
Yeah, it's a bit
I
like
mean,
when Thingy wins the when Wimbledon, mate. We classed him as an Englishman.
this is just what
Anyway,
you do.
let's move. Yeah, it's just what we do. Let's move. I mean, we did it with Declan Rice. Let's move swiftly on and jump straight into the juicy bit, the network save. We have officially wrapped up our season on the network save. And what a finish. It had everything. It had some goals, it had meltdowns, it had a little bit of Fergie time drama on the final day, and somehow, I don't know how, but somehow Mads managed to sneak into the top four because honestly crazy. Mad, let's just jump straight into it. How are you feeling? Champions League nights on the horizon. You buzzing?
It wasn't expected. Obviously, when we started the save, what did we say we had? Something like 8 or 10 league games left.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
My run-in was particularly difficult. So you remember, and we were streaming this live over on Twitch, as we do and as we will be. But my run-in, around the time we were both kind of hanging around 5th and 6th, I was looking at, I had Inter away, I had Fiorentina at home, I had Atalanta away, I had AC Milan at home. So it wasn't looking obvious that Champions League was a possibility. We did beat Inter Milan though, which was huge, and we had already beaten Juventus because they went down to 10 men. But I think the away win at Inter Milan, who went on to I think they went on to win the league by 3 points on Napoli. I think that was a bit of a catalyst in terms of league form because we got ourselves knocked out of the Europa League. And then went on to beat Fiorentina. We got hammered by Atalanta. They were just ridiculous in Football Manager. Maybe that's a whole other podcast of how good Atalanta are in Football Manager. It basically went down to the last day, Dupe, I guess, and you can talk to your games as well. But I managed to beat AC Milan 2-0, and I think it was around that time, that second last game. I'm just having a look at your schedule as well. That when I beat AC Milan, you lost Inter. I think that's where it turned. That was the moment. And we both went into our last games. I had Torino away, you had Lecce at home. We both won, but in the end, it didn't matter. Now, I did my best to do what I do and bottle it and make a balls of it. We played Torino, who look, Torino aren't bad. Torino are kind of in that bracket with Udinese, I guess. We were playing them in their place in Turin, and I beat them. So I needed to win to guarantee Champions League. Otherwise, it was kind of looking at what the results were going on. But for a brief moment, you were probably going in and I wasn't. And it took until 80 minutes for Paulo Dybala to score remarkably his first goal for me in the league. He had scored once against Man United when we lost in the Europa League semi-finals. So his first league goal for me in our little campaign ended up getting us the Champions League. But he hasn't been good. And I find myself thinking about what I'm going to do with him in the summer. But we're going to come to the summer, I suppose, in a moment. So overall, I was delighted to get Champions League. It's a big one. I need to bring in some reinforcements, which I'm sure we're going to chat about shortly. But the one good thing, I think, from a streaming perspective, from a network save perspective, I think we picked a great league because it was so tight. The two teams that we were managing, only a point between them when we took over, and only really a point or two between us when we finished. So yeah, I think Italy is the best, kind of most competitive, most evenly matched league. If I was looking for a save now, that's where I'd be going.
Yeah, I mean, it was tit for tat. I mean, like you said, it very much came down to that last game of the season. That's always good fun, right? For us to have that. Um, I, yeah, it was strange because I played so well against Juve, literally so well against Juve. I ended up beating them 4-0, and I kept saying to Matt, I think we went 2-0 up, and I was like, oh, Matt, they've just scored. Oh, Matt, they've just scored. Oh, Matt, they've just scored. It's 3-2. Oh, fuck. I'm like, what's going on? Bloody hell. And Mad was getting so excited, and then the game finished. He was like, "Oh, you beat him? Oh, you bugger!"
Yeah, I
But
don't
yeah,
like
that
that a
Inter
lot.
AC Milan game is what killed us. Inter are such a good side. When you actually look through kind of what they have, it is scary. Some of the talent that they've got. Players like Lautaro Martinez, Barella, Pavard, Bastoni. I mean, it's instant. Like there's not a huge amount you need to do with that team. And plus that they've got incredible facilities, incredible finances. They are in such a strong position as a unit. To be fair, and like you said, man, I lost to them and beat Lecce on the final day, which actually gives me the Europa League next year, which isn't terrible. The only downside to the Europa League, I'll be completely open and honest with you. Again, we'll touch upon finances shortly, but I ended the season and they gave me £12 million to spend. How much did they give you, man?
We've ended up with like 40, maybe even 50 to stretch it, but I seem to have a lot of room to maneuver. You know, you can kind of drag your slider up and down. I have a lot of freedom to play with there. And if I get some players off the books, I think I could do a lot of damage this summer, and I probably will.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my summer has been getting players off. That sounds so bad. Yeah, it's a team bonding exercise. I've literally just been
Out of
like
context.
everywhere I go, just rolling the dice about. I'm getting good at it now, so it's fine. So yeah, I've just been trying to get them off our books, basically, and get rid of players. And I have made so many people unhappy by putting them on the transfer list. Um, and I've been trying to be as clever as I can, really, of trying to bring players in. And it's been tough. It's been really tough because I don't have Champions League. We had this conversation. I don't have Champions League. I don't have the ability to kind of chuck that under players' faces. And I also don't have the finances, which is a common thing I like to say a lot. But a lot of my money, like, has only come in since I've started selling players. And we have, we've brought in quite a bit of money. I'm not going to lie to you. I've got probably now closer to 50 million that I've kind of got to spend. I've spent about 30 of it already, which we'll go through very shortly. I had some pre-arranged transfers, which Mad was not very happy about. Before the season ended, I managed to get a deal for Salamakers, who was actually on loan at Mad's team into where are you, Roma? And I managed to get a pre contract agreed with him and a fee, which was pretty cool. I also managed to pick up a very young, talented midfielder called Paul Pogba as well on a transfer, free transfer for 23 million grand a week, which is absolutely insane for Paul Pogba. I'll be honest with you. Obviously, just back fresh from
Mm.
his deal, and then we kind of dipped our toes, like I said, into the transfer market, trying to get rid of a few of our players. One of the biggest ones was Tati, went to Manchester United. He was wanted by a lot, man, and I kind of got halfway through kind of the sale, thinking, "Am I doing the right thing here?" Because I didn't think he was that good, but if everybody wants him, he's 25 years of age. He does have 18 determination, don't get me wrong. But he is like at a stage of like he's 25. Like, how much better could this guy get in the short period that we've got? So I wasn't too kind of concerned to see him go. At the moment, Sakini is the only one that I'm glad I've managed to keep hold of at this current moment in time.
Yeah, I think
However, he is desperate to go. Like, he is absolutely desperate to go. I have said, like, 72 million, you can have him. Anything less than that, I'm not selling him. So, who have you managed to bring in, Mad? Because like I said, you had a lot of the money up front. So, who have you managed to get through the door? and is everybody happy with that?
Yeah, well, we'd a couple of things happening. So I didn't do any scouting whatsoever until I hadn't even look at anybody until I was finished the season. Basically, I didn't have the capacity for it, Dupe. More so just
No, I
I
did
was
though.
stupid and I didn't look quick enough. You were much smarter than I was. Um,
For usual.
but other things happening outside of that. Before I get to my business, the first thing that was important, I guess, from a Roma perspective, is I have a lot of players returning from loans in this squad. So the squad is like way too big now. It's like very overinflated. So, I had two centre backs returning from loans. Marash Kumbula, who I quite like, the Albanian centre back, is only 24. Mario Hermoso, 29-year-old centre back, who people might remember was at Atletico Madrid, and then he spent a season on loan at Leverkusen. Two really good centre backs, on top of the three that we already have in Hummels, Evan Ndika, and Gianluca Mancini. Also returning from loan, Enzo Lefebvre from Sunderland, who's actually really good in Football Manager. Eduardo Bove, who's the guy you might remember, Dupe, actually, he collapsed in real life about a year ago. He has come back and he's valued at over kind of 20, 30 million. Nikola Zalewski, the left back, Polish guy, came back. He's valued between 34 and 44 million. Ola Solbakken is another player that was around FM for a while, but he's not great. And obviously Tammy Abraham. So these feel like new transfers because I just didn't have any of these players in the squad. So it'd be interesting to see what I can do there in terms of either keeping or selling. Then Manu Kone, who was on loan at Roma when I took over, his transfer becomes permanent. So he's now signed permanently for the club. Good midfielder, very good in game. Then I needed to have a look around and see where I needed to strengthen, which is hard because I'm finding it hard to offload players. We're currently in July at the moment. So haven't really sold anyone yet, but I knew the two positions I really needed to look at were kind of winger inside forward, particularly on the left or right. So I moved very quickly there. We signed Amin Guiri, who I'm sure is a player maybe you're familiar with, Dupe, and potentially have had in previous saves. I've definitely had him in a couple of
Yeah.
saves, and is always really good in FM. He has moved around a bit in Liga, but I really like him in FM. He's still really, really strong. 14 pace, 14 acceleration. He's got all really good physicals for like natural fitness, stamina and stuff. 15 finishing, 15 dribbling, 14 composure, 16 flair, 16 determination, 15 off the ball, 15 technique, and so on and so on. Good long shots as well, actually. So I think he'll be able to play up front, but potentially as an inside forward on the left and add a bit of goals because I was lacking there. And then I've made one other kind of a main signing. I was really close to signing one of the best left backs in FM24. It's Caio Enrique, who is at was Monaco, I think. And I agreed. I had the fee in place. They accepted the offer, and I then offered him terms, which he accepted. And so he's a left back, kind of a left wing back. He's outstanding. Yeah, he's at Monaco. His attributes are just ridiculous. You're looking at 16 pace, 15 acceleration, 16 corners, 16 crossing, 14 tackling, 14 anticipation, 14 dribbling, 14, 14, 14, 14. One of those. At the last minute, PSG came in and hijacked the deal. I offered him about 20, 30 grand more. He ended up agreeing to sign for PSG for a lot less money than I was offering. And yeah, they have signed him, and that was upsetting. You probably, well, Dupe, you know the answer, but listeners may not guess who I've ended up going for as a second choice. What I really liked about Caio Enrique was particularly his attributes, where I mentioned like crossing, dribbling, set pieces, corners, and as well as being quick. We ended up spending. By the way, I spent 34 million on Amin Guiri, I think, with just over half it up front. The next player I signed, we bought for a total of 22 million. I think it's about 15 plus, let's say whatever, the 5 or 7 installments. We went to a relegated club, Dupe, called Ipswich Town. We bought Leif Davis, who I wasn't expecting. I just didn't think I would sign him.
No.
I've always known about him. He was actually the left back in my Northern Boys save because he's actually from the Northeast. He's a Geordie. He was born in Newcastle back in the day, in the golden days, but he's obviously come on a lot. And I think he'll probably find a move if and when Ipswich get relegated. But yeah, 17 corners, 16 crossing. He's got 14 pace, 15 acceleration, 14 anticipation, good technicals, good physicals, and yeah, I just think he could be a force to be reckoned with in this league and add a bit more firepower on that left hand side. So yeah, Guiri and Leaf Davis are in. I now need to sell some players, which is probably where I'll start when we go live again, which will more than likely be Tuesday night, Dupe, I think. If we're
Yeah, I
all
believe
set.
so. So tomorrow night.
Yep, tomorrow night basically, because we're recording on a Monday. And yeah, interesting to see what else I can do. I've still got about 40 million in the bank in the transfer budget because of being able to maneuver and manipulate it. So if I can sell a few more players, I might be able to make a couple of big name signings for my Champions League hopes. It's a bit more exciting in in Roma than it is in Lazio. Dupe, I think is fair to say.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm gonna sit with this three at the back system. I think that's something that I'm definitely gonna do, which is kind of highlighted to me that there is a few roles and positions that I need to improve on, and I know that. One being centre back, one being wing backs, one being 100% strikers. Like definitely, I need strikers. Like without a shadow of a doubt, we are fully in need of strikers. So Pellegrini, who was on Luca Pellegrini, that is by the way, who was on loan from Juventus last season. It was already in his contract about a mandatory fee. We didn't have any kind of say to that, so we paid 3.4 million for him. He's all right. I'm not gonna lie, he ain't too bad. He'll do the trick as that wing back, that complete wing back. I think he'll be fine. I'm happy with him for now. One thing I have done is I got rid of a lot of my centre backs, even though we're going to play three at the back. Because why wouldn't you? We have Romic Noli, who was already here. He is currently wanted by Juventus, so he may leave. Unfortunately, Juve are a big team still, even though they haven't been great this year. If people ask for Juve ask for people, he is probably going to leave. So at the moment, I'm hoping he doesn't. He still has a fair whack on his contract, so it would cost about 30 million if they want him. So I'll see what I can do. So he's going to play left centre side of left centre back, and then I did bring in another centre back, Madd, and completely forgot about the non-EU. But I brought in a young. He's 30 years of age. Eric Dyer, due to his the fact that he's 6'3", he's got good jumping reach, good mentals. To be fair, he's actually not too bad. 16 tackling, 17 heading, 16 determination, 16 strength, 16 jumping reach, aggression, 16 bravery, 16. Like he's a big, strong centre back, and I think he'll do very well in Italy. So he's going to be my centre back, if that makes sense. And then I've still got a space for my right centre back, who we are kind of looking around, trying to tease a few players and whatnot. Obviously, Salamakers comes in, bought him for about £4.50, which Matt is proper disappointed with at this current moment in time. And I don't know why. He tried to get a deal with him and he just couldn't get it done. So he is a little bit upset at the moment, Matt, aren't you, bud? You'll be okay though, won't you? I'm sure.
Well,
So we've got
I only went
Salamakers.
for him because he scored a hat trick. So I just threw in a bid, and then they wanted 10 million, and then 20 minutes later, you signed him for about 400k.
Yeah,
So I call bullshit. But
you
anyway,
snooze, you
I've had my
lose.
rant.
Nicolo Ravella was already on loan as well from Juve. He broke his leg halfway through the season. Did really well for the 2 games I played him in, and then broke his leg. That was a pre-agreed fee for 14.5 million. So he's going to play in the DM support role. We've still got Guendouzi. He's not gone anywhere. Whether you like him or hate him, attribute wise, looks fantastic. He's got a very strong set of attributes to play as a ball winner or a box to box. However, we want to play him in that DM role, or even if we want to shift them up a bit higher with the preseason. I don't know whether we're going to play that DM, like the midfielders in the DM, or whether we're going to play him a bit higher. So we'll work that out. However, he is very, very much wanted by Saudi, so that could go horribly wrong. Obviously, we mentioned about Sakini in the middle. He is wanted by Real Madrid. Um, which I'll be honest with you, it's Real Madrid. You can't fault anybody that gets their head turned by Real Madrid, but I need to try and extract maximum value. We've had a few bids, Matt. I think I remember saying like 60, we've had like 60, 65 million, and I definitely want more than 70. So if anyone triggers more than 70, I'll let him go. I am tick in the box, and we have activated the clause that we had in the loan agreement with Arjun Ibrahimovic from Bayern Munich, who also will play number 10. So I'm paying 7.75 million for him, who in the future will be a fantastic, very, very good attack midfielder. Probably will have to send him out on loan this season, but potentially he may even stay and challenge if we can't fill that spot, because Paul Pogba can sit in that spot. Then the big problem, Matt, is I need two strikers, and I don't have a huge amount of money, as we've already kind of gathered. And I need two fast, pacey, strong strikers that can lead the line and kind of score a goal for me. Taking on Madd's kind of mantra of going to relegated clubs, I also went to Ipswich. I first tried to sign their director of football, Gary Pro, because I know the bloke personally. He didn't want to sign, unfortunately. He actually signed a new contract at relegated Ipswich. But what I did do was I went and bought Liam Delap for about £15 million. A lot of that is structured, I'm not going to lie, because again, I have to be a little bit financially savvy. I think we paid them about 7.5 up front. They get X amount if we get into the Champions League. He gets X amount if he scores X amount of goals and all that sort of stuff. So we have been clever. Like, the worst case scenario, we will earn our money back on him. Like, if he doesn't, tick all the boxes. We are talking about kind of Liam Delap, probably more his attributes from when he was in, like, not doing that well. So hopefully we'll see if he plays well for us. But it also leaves another striker, man. So at this current moment of time, if we have to start the season tomorrow, I am missing a striker and a centre back. Now, I do have some people on the bench that could potentially take that role. Pedro is one of them. He is wanted by so many people because he had such a fantastic season last season for me. He actually won Player of the Year, I'm sure, didn't he? Or he won something. I can't remember, but he could play
He
the
was
other striker
nominated
for me.
anyway.
Was he nominated?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he did quite well somewhere. And then centre backs wise, I've got Cassell, who is a right-footed centre back, but he is wanted by a few. I've also put him on the transfer list because he can't play with the ball at his feet. But if I needed to, he could come in and sit at that right-sided centre back. So we're okay, but we have some bids in at the moment. One being a left back. One that I actually think is probably one of the best attacking complete wing backs that would go really well with Salamakers, and that is Rayan Lodi. We discussed it, I think, in the stream yesterday, or the other stream we did. I've managed to strike a deal up with Saudi for him. He's not wanted a huge contract, which is quite nice. And I do feel that as that kind of complete wing back left sided, he will be very good. Probably push Luca Pellegrini to a starting spot. I'm also just kind of looking in and around the other defenders. There's a Nigerian chap that I've managed to find who has German. I think he's like second nationality German, so he is not non the EU, if that makes sense. And he looks very good. I've got a cheap little kind of tactical bid in for him, but he is left-sided rather than right-sided. But we can kind of work things. And in the big signing, Matt, with the rest of the money that I have left, I have put a substantial, hefty bid down, and I am currently battling against Newcastle, so the state of Saudi, for Cunha to try and be my other striker.
Ooh, interesting. Dave likes this.
It's a big, boldy move. I don't think he's going to want to come. He wants a lot of money. I am just toying with him at the moment and seeing if I can try and get him, but it is also trying to get rid of other players still. I have a few. I probably have about 30, 40 million still left of players that want to go. And I'm just now trying to get deals done for them. And I am probably looking to accept less of kind of what's being offered. I'm just happy to get them off my books. Our wage bills just seem to be astronomical at the moment. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But there's a lot of movement going on. We are just clicking a couple of continues as we go. We're having deals go through and contracts being offered, and we will obviously pick it all up on the thing. But my main focus this year, I've got quite a nice little start to the season. I do play Inter and Napoli in the first 6 games. I also play Atalanta and Roma in the first 10 games. So we have a very tough start, but a start nonetheless. And then obviously we have the Europa League. And I think, with the system that we've got, I feel that we could potentially do some damage. I know it's very exciting over in your neck of the woods, but I think for me personally, I think I got to be relatively happy for where we kind of picked up the save. We had a good go at that Champions League spot, and I don't think we embarrassed ourselves. We won our first derby between myself and you. We had a couple of silly losses that we should just not have lost. Genoa was at 1. Like, we should never have lost that game, and we did 3-2. The Atalanta game 5-0, fine. But then we also lost. I think it was that. Was it? Did we pick up the save? I can't remember when we actually picked the save up. It must have been. I mustn't have played the Bologna game, but we lost 5-0 to Bologna. Oh, yeah, that was the IRL because I picked up against Torino. That was it. So, I mean, in the league itself, I've only lost 3 games, and one of them was against Atalanta and one of them against Inter, both away from home. So I think I can hold my head high with that. The Europa Conference League was just crap. We absolutely got battered in that. And the Coppa Italia, I think you popped along. We lost that quite late on in the game, and we lost by 1 goal over the 2 legs. So again, I don't think we could do too upset about that, man. So I think all in all, I'm relatively happy with how it's gone. I'm a little bit disappointed you've got in, and I'd like to have had a little bit more money. But we've got some room for maneuver, mate. I think we're gonna put a good challenge in for next year.
I think so. And I mean, just as you were chatting about signings there, I was having a little wonder. There was a player I had mentioned to you when you were talking about signing a striker. I was like, you should sign this guy, and money was your issue.
What do
I'm
you
not
think?
really happy with Dovovic, and I'm a bit afraid. I don't really trust Tammy. I've gone in for Moise Keane, and I
Yeah,
might try and make it happen. And then I'll have to. My wage bill is atrocious at the moment, so I'm going to have to then bank
yeah.
on offloading some players. But I
I
really like Moise Keane in this game. I think he's cracking.
I'm very much looking at Lorenzo Luca as well as my backup if Cunha
Ooh, I
doesn't
like that
come.
one.
Yeah, I think I don't want to just go with the fact that he's tall, but I've got 2 fantastic guys that can cross a ball if Lodi comes in as well. So I just feel why would you not use that to our
Mm,
advantage? Get them whipping the balls in and then Delap just scoring the knockdown. So, and then the other one was I can't remember who the other striker was I was looking at, but yeah, I think I've sent something over to Manchester United about loaning Hoyland, but they want about £7 million a week to pay to have him, which is just nuts.
that's
So I
crazy.
told him to right royally jog the fuck on. So
Yeah.
sweet. I think that's probably all I've got left to say about the kind of the season. To be honest,
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, we're streaming this over on Twitch. Some people have been in. We've had some really good interest. I think, as I said, it's quite tight, and I think we're going to have our first windows under our belts, which should be massive. It'll be interesting to see. Let's say me getting in the Champions League with a bit more money, my propensity to make a balls of it is high. Some of your signings may prove to be shrewd, and that might actually work in your favor. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens when we come up against each other. You mentioned your opening fixtures as well. I naturally,
I,
after getting smashed by,
I guess
sorry,
there's
no, I
only
thought I
one
had
way to find
Atlanta. I
out.
have I have Juventus. Sorry, Juventus is my first game at home. I have a friendly against Atalanta, which I don't want to do. I might bin that off
Okay.
because they're just too good. It's not fair. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when we come up against each other. But yeah, we'll be live. Tuesday. It should be Tuesday and Thursday this week. All going well.
It definitely won't be Thursday, as I'm in Manchester.
Ah, I see. Yes, yes,
But
yes, yes,
it
yes, yes.
we'll get 2 in. We'll get 2 in. We might squeeze one
Yeah.
in on Friday, maybe when I get
Hmm.
back,
Sounds good.
potentially.
Bash.
Sweet. Happy days, mate. I'm a bit worried if you're going to offer me a quiz with mine or your connection because one of us is making it skip like a microwave. But we can give it a go if you've got one.
Yeah, I can give it a go because I don't need to ask you questions. I need to present you with what I'm asking you for, and then it's just up to you to start shouting some answers.
Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, that's
Inspired,
brilliant.
yeah, inspired by the signing that you have agreed. in Football Manager to bring Paul Pogba to Lazio of all places, I said I'd have a look at some other big French transfers. So what I want to know is, apart from Paul
Oh,
Pogba, who, as you know, was he once world record when he went to Manchester United for
yeah.
100 and whatever million?
I mean, he's
I
still our
want to know the
highest transfer.
still the highest. I want to know like remove Paul Pogba. I've got the top 10 French transfers of all time, not including Paul Pogba. So I've got 10 alternatives for you. And
Okay.
you just have to give me, I just want the player, and you don't have to tell me the amount or anything like that.
All right. Kylian Mbappe's got to be number one.
Kylian Mbappe is number one, 180 million when he moved to PSG. Correct.
That's so much money, by the way.
I know, ridiculous.
Ousmane Dembele.
Ousmane Dembele is correct. He's number 2 on the list when he moved to Barcelona quite a long time ago for 145 million euros. Wild.
He's been like really good recently, though, right?
Yeah, he's been class this season.
Yeah, I think like Griezmann, Antoine.
Antoine Griezmann is number 3 on the. Do you just have this list in front of you? Antoine Griezmann
No, they're
is
just like the
correct.
three. Yeah, I do.
120 million also to Barcelona. He is number 3, correct.
But then we obviously
Pogba would have been
be
number 4, but
90.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking for
Okay.
Pogba.
Wesley Fofana.
Wesley Fofana, when he moved to Chelsea for 80.6 million euros, puts
That's a
him
lot
at
of money.
It's a lot of money. Puts him at number 6 on the list. That includes Paul Pogba because he's below Paul Pogba.
Okay. I'm thinking like that's probably the. Oh no, the PSG guy up front. He's just signed this season. He was a lot of money.
I'm going to need a name on that one.
Okay, let me come back to that one. I'm going to say it just because I don't want this one to be the one that catches me out. By the way, Lenny Yoro.
Lenny Yoro is not in the top 10.
Okay, I thought he
not
might
miles
be.
off.
I thought he might be up there, which then could have. You would have then kind of laughed at me if I got that completely fucking wrong. How much does Zidane go for? Because he must be quite high. When he went Juve to Real, he was quite a lot of money then.
I can
So
tell
I'm going to
you,
go
Zinedine
Zidane.
Zidane moved for 77.5 million euros to Real Madrid, which puts him number 9 on the all-time French list. Correct.
Tchouaméni.
Aurelien Tchouaméni, when he moved for 80 million euros to Real Madrid, puts him just below Wesley Fofana and does put him in the top 10. Correct.
I'm having a real horrible thought about a player, and I'm going to have to think about it because I think it'll embarrass me if I get it wrong. But I'm thinking a player could be French, but I'm thinking he also could not be French. Who also plays for Real Madrid? Camavinga? He's French.
Camavinga is French, but I don't have him in my list.
I'm just thinking whilst we're over in Real Madrid, didn't they buy the left back? Isn't he French? Mendy. How much is he?
I don't have him in my list, so I don't have a fee for him.
Okay.
For Mendy. but I don't think it was that high.
Okay.
I'm going to start throwing you some clues.
Okay.
First clue I'll give you. So I've got three more players I'm looking for that would complete the top 10 that doesn't include Paul Pogba. So technically the last guy is number 11.
Yeah.
I have on this list a defender who is French, who moved to Bayern Munich.
Lucas Hernandez.
Lucas Hernandez is correct. 80 million euros.
It's nuts, by the way.
So that's one gone. Next, I have a winger who moved to Atletico Madrid.
To Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
Oh. French winger, Atletico Madrid. Recent?
Not super recent. I'm gonna get a year for you, but it's not in the last 2 or 3 seasons. It's beyond.
And there's
that.
no repeats on this, is there? It's not like
no.
because
not
I'm
Griezmann.
50-50 about it.
2080.
It's not. Griezmann didn't go like. We're not going like Atletico to Barca back to Atletico. So is it Thomas Lemar?
It is Thomas Lemar. Gets
Which
you
is
the
what
point.
the 50-50 was for, right?
Yeah, indeed.
I thought that was quite clever.
Right, and the last name on this list is a midfielder who moved to Tottenham.
Oh, so are we? Hang on, is the striker at PSG like? Have we not?
Oh, sorry, you haven't given me his name. I forgot. I've marked him off, but you haven't given me his name.
I should have said fuck all. Okay, let me get back to him. Midfielder, French, Tottenham. Oh, football manager. He was amazing football manager. Ndombele.
Yes, Tanguy Ndombele.
Yeah, he was like, it was Mourinho fucked him over, didn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, you're right though. I did not get the name of that striker who is number 5 on the all-time top French transfers.
Oh, I can't think what his name is.
To PSG.
I can tell you everything
from
about
Eintracht
it.
Frankfurt.
From Eintracht Frankfurt, yeah. Literally,
Didn't
like
he
this
score
year, last year,
in
year before.
that final against England, or did I dream that? Or was it Argentina? He scored in one of those finals.
Oh no, he scored against Argentina. He didn't score against. We haven't been in the final against France. No, we played Italy and Spain in the 2 finals we had.
Yes, you're right. Correct. Unless he scored. No, anyway.
Or if it's and it's literally on the top of my tongue. This is gonna listeners at home, shout it out to your radios. Help me out here. Randall Kolo Muani
is correct. I was about to say this is like when I couldn't. I was struggling with Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the double barrel just wrecking the head. It was a similar situation, but it is correct. 95 million to PSG, and that's your lot. Good going.
Super. Yeah, no, okay, that's cool. Wow, Madd. That does bring episode 391 to a close for this week. It's so good to be back again. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. You can find the links for both of us in the podcast description, or both visit infostarpotential.com, where you can find all of our latest Football Manager content. You can also find us over at twitch.tv/Doop and twitch.tv/MaddFM. Is that correct, Madd?
Yes.
He said it's correct. He's putting his thumbs up. 5-Star Potential is available on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify, and most of our popular podcast apps and platforms with a brand new podcast released every single week, just maybe not on a Monday. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you all next week. Say goodbye, Madd.
Goodbye, everybody. Enjoy the week.
Goodbye.